Hello and welcome to CBOE Volatility 411. My name is Dan Deming and I'm with KKM Financial. Well, we're seeing the VIX trend lower today, 39.40 currently, and it's down on the day as we see the SPX trying to hold 2,800. It is interesting to look at the range over the last couple of weeks. 47.77 was the high this week, but I'm keeping it on that 37.31 level from last week, seeing if we can break through there. That would initiate further downside probably, certainly for the VIX and probably for the futures as well. Looking at realized volatility, that's one of the drivers, I believe. We've had a very volatile start to the week. Now we're seeing realized volatility coming in at the end of the week, and therefore we're seeing the VIX below 40 as well. Looking at the roll market, negative 150 on that roll market. The front month future currently right around 38.60, so just below the cash level. But we're seeing that roll market in about 50 cents. And the futures curve is flattening now, continues to flatten. And it is interesting to look at that October future holding a premium relative to September and November. Some of that has to do with the holidays, but also probably an election premium in there as well. Looking at VVIX, measure implied volatility in the VIX options, trending lower as well, 118 right now, and that's the lowest level since March 5th. So we are seeing VVIX trending lower as those VIX futures are finding, to some degree, a bit of a range here as we see the futures curve flattening, and I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing VVIX coming in as well. Activity currently in the money puts in May 40 puts, about 5,000 of those traded. 37.5 line on both the calls and the puts in May have traded as well, about 3,000. But really the big trade was the June 24 puts. 20,000 of those have traded. Moving into next week, we got a couple of factors that need to be focused on from a volatility standpoint. Fed announcement on Wednesday, that's going to be a driver, but also the big four in the SPX announced later in the week next week, and that is Alphabet, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. Those are the big four. They make up a big section of the SPX, and therefore, as those go, I think that's how the SPX goes, and volatility will probably follow.